let's talk about the new cruiser livery. Um, just overall, what is it and how long has it been in the planning?
Yeah, so the Waterloo Regional Police Service has engaged historically with external consultants over the past couple of years to create our equity, inclusion, diversity strategic plan, which has 5 pillars to help guide us into better community relations, particularly with our diverse community members, both externally and internally, and with our own membership as well. And one of those pillars is titled Total Community Engagement. And so it helps guide us in terms of how we relate better with our diverse community partners. And one of those initiatives was to ensure that once the end of the pandemic um, comes about and we're able to get back into the community, we go to different events, have conversations, celebrations, and listen to our community, that we would, with a certain number of police cars, have it so that when they come to the end of their natural life, instead of decaling them with the ordinary WRPS emblems, that we would create decals that sort of represent the totality of diversity in our region. And we're really excited to share that with the community, and especially when all of them roll out in the coming months.
So why was a project like this undertaken? Why did it begin?
Yeah, so it's a really great question. To sort of give a little bit of a backstory, the Waterloo Regional Police Service had a Pride cruiser that um, sort of reached the end of its natural cycle in terms of kilometer use and so on. And there was a few members internally from the 2S LGBTQ plus community who said, look, we're really happy that this cruiser exists, but we'd like to see a more um, sort of a holistic look at the diversity in our region, also appreciating the intersectionality of our diverse community groups. And so that sort of led to conversations with our own members in our community about how we can more holistically represent our region, not just in one particular way, but in the complete sort of intersection that is who we are as a region. And so that's how this project began. So our service did a few things: internal consultations with our members and those in the community, and also looked at census data to make sure that we weren't missing any folks in our community who make up the fabric of who we are. And so the totality of this project includes all kinds of folks. I appreciate I've seen some discussion and dialogue about this particular cruiser, but it's important that the community know that this cruiser project will sort of speak to a variety of different community groups, so that when we have an event up in the North Division, in the rural areas with our Mennonite community, we have something that represents those folks and speaks to them and creates those conversations. And then when we're in our South Division with our Portuguese community, let's say, and so on. So we have a variety of different folks represented in this cruiser project. And stay tuned to our website to see other mock-ups and designs as they become available.
So let's talk about the design specifically on this cruiser. Um, what is the design? Can you explain it and how it was chosen, and what's the full meaning behind it?
Yeah, so when it comes to this particular cruiser and the other ones as well, what we decided was we were going to lean on and utilize previous photographs and event flyers and so on from community events we've been invited to in the past pre-COVID with our diverse community friends. And so essentially the cruiser is a compilation, and the subsequent cruisers are a compilation of those images. To save from a financial perspective, we engaged with the Waterloo Region graphic design folks to turn that into something that we could, in a cost-effective way, put onto our police vehicles. And that was the sort of process that we engaged with to come up with the designs. And then, of course, community consultative pieces with some of those folks that would be represented in the cruisers to make sure that we got it right, so that when we roll it out in the community, it's as effective of a tool as possible to build those connections and enjoy sort of that post-COVID type of interaction that we're hoping to have in the coming months.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to share about this cruiser that I haven't mentioned?
Yeah, so I have been made aware of some of the dialogue about the cruiser now, and there's some folks who seem to think that we are positioning it as the solution to the sort of problems that we face in terms of building good community connections and so on with diverse folks, and that's not at all the case. I'd say that our unit is probably the most proud of the educational pieces that we're doing internally that are going to start April 2nd, that focus on anti-racism and specifically and importantly anti-Black racism in our community. And so, you know, we've done consultations with community partners and subject matter experts in the BIPOC community. That'll roll out to all of our members soon. And so that's one of those pieces of one of the pillars in the campaign. And it's important for the community to know that these police cruisers are simply a tiny piece of a greater puzzle, and that we hope that we can continue the dialogue and engagement with them so that we can create other opportunities for change for us so that we can do better by folks in the community and build those relationships and connections.